Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's Maker Talk. We are going to be covering one of the MMC winners, and we would like to direct your attention to our moderator, Jason Moore, and he will be getting the talk started for us. Please take it away, Jason.
Thanks, Molly. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the EduScience Meeting Room. I'm Jason Moore, and today I'm excited to be moderating this latest installment of our Maker Talk series, where we invite creators from across the Resonite community to share their work and take us on a deep dive into their process. Today's presentation features three highly talented Resonite creators, Decoy, CrownedHaley, and Kibah. They will share their design, their process, their workflow, and their experiences making their MMC Award Winning world, Lucreverse. Before we begin, just a few quick notes. You can find a seat anywhere here. And if you'd like to be more vertical, please choose one of those aerial platforms. That way you won't block the view of all of our invisible cameras positioned throughout the space. Because yes, we are live streaming this to the educators of Resonite Twitch, and the video will be archived and available in a few days. There are applause sticks by the doorway there, so please feel free to use them. If we get very crowded and we start losing frames, we'll ask everybody to switch to a performant avatar. I see some of you are in performant avatars already. My frame rates are pretty good at the moment, so I think we should be fine. If you need a performant avatar and don't have one, there is a spawner by the entrance. But again, no need to do it just yet. You also don't need to be muted during the presentation. Lots of people think that they have to be muted during these things. Please don't. We like to hear your laughs, your comments. We don't want you having a side conversation, but we want this to feel alive, and we want to have a feeling of social presence. So you don't need to mute. If your environment gets too noisy and you think it's going to bleed through, then yes, go ahead and mute, please. Today's presentation will last about 30 minutes, give or take, and there will be time for questions and answers at the end. So if you're watching on Twitch, type your question into the chat and we can see them here. If you're with us in person, just raise your hand, your paw, your wing, your tentacle. I will call on you. After the presentation, everybody is also invited to a casual world hop to go see this amazing work. I'd like to quickly thank the greater EduSci community here, who works hard to make and share their work over the years, to answer questions in the Resonite Discord, and importantly, who worked hard to bring this space back to life after we migrated here. A special thanks to Niels Modek, who serves as one of the founding members of the community, who made this original meeting hall, and who inspires us all to keep putting these talks on. Also, a huge thanks to our producer, Miss Molly, our director, Dave the Turner, and also thanks to Miss Molly, LaserKeat Sticks, and so many others for helping to redesign and optimize this incredible world. And don't forget, not only do we have this amazing presentation hall, downstairs is a gallery where our makers today have put a few pictures behind the scenes of their work in the world. So don't forget to swing by the gallery on the way out. Thanks also to who designed and created the incredible multicam switcher that we use to broadcast the talks to the live stream. So please help me welcome to the stage Decoy, CrownedHaley, and Kibah. Take it away, Decoy.
Hello. First of all, I want to thank the whole Metaverse Academy team for inviting me here. It's experience being here in front of a bunch of educators. Usually I'm in front of a bunch of people who try to set me on fire and things like that. So this is a nice change of pace. So hello, everybody. Got me on fire today. I want to talk about our MMC project, Lucreverse. But our team name is Terrible Lizards because we are all terrible lizards. Won the Miscellaneous World Award for 2025, which I am eternally grateful for. I did not expect that to happen, but we pulled through. And it's thanks to my wonderful team over here. So, first of all, who is Terrible Lizards. We have a few people. We have 6 people, actually. There's me. I was the team lead for Terrible Lizard. I was the one who basically, rounded up all the people and put the team together, put the project together. I'm also the bird on the team, and I'm also the slacker, because if you're a team leader, then you're doing leader things and not doing work. So I was the biggest slacker on the team. Thankfully, I have everyone here. That was wonderful, wonderful help. So, CrownedHaley, which is over there, she will be giving a speech on the API and our website, which is lucreverse.com. Did a lot of the background and the lore for the world too. So there is a bit of a story. If you've been there, you might have seen a little bit of it. She was responsible for that. She's also responsible for, like I said, the back end of the messaging system. There's Nuclear Dan, which is not with us today. He was the technical artist, so he was responsible for doing a lot of the putting together blockouts, leading us in the way of how we need to make things, because he has more game design, I guess, background than I do, at least. So he was teaching me a lot about game design and how we need to make things the way they were. He also did some 3D modeling, and he's also a dinosaur. So he's a lizard. There is Red over there. You can see him over there. He did our cooling system. He did a few flux things. He keeps saying he's cooking, and then he will come in and break something. So at least he fixed them, so it's fine. But Red was mostly responsible for our cooling system and a lot of the flux. So that was probably one of the better things to have. Kibah is also here. He was responsible for graphic design. He did some 3D modeling for us too. As you can see, or I guess as you can see in the bottom corner down there of the slideshow, our wonderful logo was made by Kibah. He has a lot to say about fonts. Never ask him about fonts. You will be there for 1 hour. There's also Gareth48, who is not nice to make it. They were responsible for the world design. A lot of the materials in the world, if you've been there, are made by him. He did a very great job basically capturing what we wanted out of this world. So a lot of the graphic design things went to him, and he helped me basically figure out what we get the feel of the world down. And he also has 10,000 texture CDs from like Nintendo 64 stuff. He's a texture hoarder. If you ever need textures from anybody, I think Gareth48 has got you. Okay. With the team down, if you have not been there, or maybe you have been there and you're like, what is Lucreverse? What is this? What am I seeing? What is this world about? So our idea for Lucreverse was, what if we had something like Resonite, something like a huge VR world, VR space that you could do anything in, except it was made in the 90s. Now, yes, there was VR in the 90s, though I don't think you could do much with the Virtual Boy. So this was our idea of like, what if we had all these capabilities in the 90s, making basically metaverse, right? So we wanted to have everything that a 90s metaverse would have. We'd have 90s games, 90s way of socializing, like a message board or something like that. Anything that we could basically take from here, from the current age, and, within Resonite's toolkit, and repackage that to look like it came from early 2000s, late 90s. The problem with hitting the world was that it has a bit of a story, though it's not much, right? I couldn't say it was a narrative experience, because there's some story elements in there, but it's not quite really the focus of the world. And you could use it as a hangout world. I don't think that's the best idea, though you can. So I also didn't put it in a hangout. So I guess with that, I just had to put it in miscellaneous world. So that's how I got into that category, if you were wondering why it's miscellaneous world. And that's about what we wanted was basically how would this work? How would the whole like metaverse work in the 90s? So we opted to go for a pre-rendered like CG style things. If you've ever seen shows like Eyewitness on TV, seen games like, that screenshot right there is from Myst, and then the middle is Bryce 3D, which is a very early primitive modeling. And then that one, the last picture over there is from the Eyewitness show, which was a 90s edutainment show. But that's basically what we were trying to go for. How could we get graphics of the 90s into real time now, you know? So that was a lot of design work that mostly Kibah and Gareth did. But that was the idea. And then what came upon that was that, you know, once we started making these textures and these worlds, and we're like, this is really liminal. This is actually kind of scary. Why is this scary? I didn't intentionally make this scary, did I? But no. So we had to figure out why it looks unsettling. What makes it liminal? What makes a space look scary when it's not even, you know, the goal of our intent? And a lot of the work, as I said, is basically getting that to make you feel like you just stepped into the 90s. That was the goal of the world, making sure that when you stepped in there, you were thinking about your Dunkaroos and your Surge drinks from the 90s, and you felt like you were basically in a computer. And with that being said, like I said, a lot of the work came from Gareth and Kibah getting that down. So I think Kibah is more fitted to talk about the design documents than I am. So we can get Kibah up on here to talk about that.
Hello.
I'll get out of your way.
Here, do you want me to move this, or are you?
I'll just go away.
Okay. Hello, I'm. Government name is Greater Kibah, and I helped with a lot of the graphic design and the overall feel of the world, as well as Gareth. Gareth could not join us today. He is unfortunately employed and could not make it. I have a few things to say on behalf of him, as well as some stuff to go over the design philosophies and some of the drafts that we made for the logo, and how we got there. So let me get my note card here. Okay. These are Gareth's words. Nailing the look of the late 90s with the pre-rendered CGI. This was an era where rendering reflected surfaces and programming like became something that a consumer was capable of doing without requiring complex hardware primarily found in academia. This caused a explosion of strange avant-garde art experimenting in 3D graphics technology. The combination of the limited but groundbreaking toolset and the .com bubble / techno of the 90s led to a unique art style that remains iconic to this day. Key components of this art style were the use of very reflective materials and, at the time, new procedural algorithms to create intense, abstract patterns for rendering. For this project, Gareth took a lot of inspiration from a number of royalty-free photo CDs from that era that were shareware collections of a large number of renderers from all around the world. Drawing on these helped him hone in on replicating elements of an art style that has been shifted and redefined over time by contemporary pieces. Here are a few specific examples from the old era of the Nintendo 64 and so forth. I was the creator of the logo. I went to college for 4 years for graphic design in marketing and advertising, so this was kind of in my wheelhouse when Decoy asked me to be part of the team to help with the logo. There were a lot more examples that went in and the research that went into making these logos, but I swear to God, if you have an NVIDIA graphics card and you right click control panel and that little thing comes up, I was like, that's perfect. That's genius. Like that really was ultimately was like, I should just do that. So a lot of our elements from there came from old startup technology and old startup companies from back in the day that have either withered out now or have turned into things like Microsoft and Apple. There are a few examples, or not examples. There are a few drafts that we went through before we actually settled on the one that we came for. A lot of these, this is the reject pile of the logos that we didn't use. Hopefully this is big enough. That should be big enough. We didn't go with this one because we thought it looks like the Lexus logo, like a car. So that one just felt a little bit too realistic. You can't read that. That's an awesome font, but no one can read what that says. I think it's awesome. It's called Psycho Hacker. It's really cool, but it's just not readable. And that's the unfortunate thing about cool fonts. There are fonts out there that look sweet, but boy, are you not going to know what it says. So it's to the eye of the beholder. This is when we started to get into the era of where we were kind of looking for. We were getting close. This is the start of basically the logo that we have now, where it was mostly just taking fonts, jotting them down, seeing what works, and then moving forward. Obviously, we didn't go with this, but the format kind of stayed the same. We came across this one using the same style of having the Lucreverse title with Lucresoft at the bottom. Was a consistent theme pretty much at this point going forward. A lot of the design decisions in the logo were from taking these drafts and picking apart pieces from them in order to make the greater picture that we have today. I like this one because it reminds me of the Scholastic Book Fair. If anyone remembers the logo from now, from Schoolmate or whatever, this one, I really, really like this one. Unfortunately, none of these elements have any true meaning. I really just threw shapes together from looking at stuff that I saw from back in the day and was just like, yeah, that looks cool. I really like that. Until we got to here. This is when things started to get meaning. The original idea of the whole Lucreverse project, when we were pitching it before, well, Medjo doesn't know this, but we were technically like discussing what we wanted to do, but we didn't act on it. We just wanted to be like, well, what if we did this and this and this? And it started as a murder mystery of CEOs trapped into their own metaverse, and you had to figure out what happened while being inside of their own world of the .com bubble, like Gareth had mentioned. So I had the idea of having a logo that is supposed to be a friendly design, but accidentally as Big Brother watching, because it's all from a room of businessmen that are trying to make something look appealing and nice for your eyeballs, but instead their eyeballs are watching you. We took away more elements from this logo, simplified it, brought it down to just its bare essentials. That's just the core of a lot of logo design. Unfortunately, you see it nowadays where really sweet logos turn into one color or like three colors for consistency and marketing. And since this was supposed to be very corporate as possible, I just kept stripping it until we started to actually bleed into the 3D graphics side of it. I used Adobe Illustrator for a lot of these, and Adobe Illustrator has really great tools for making 3D graphics using vectors. They unfortunately look like they were made 30 years ago, which is exactly what I wanted. These are rendered entirely within Adobe Illustrator, and it gives that feeling of really early, as I say here, insane 3D graphics, kind of like an NVIDIA or something. Which is exactly what happened. The hard lights, the little bit of specularity to kind of flex that, like, oh, look what we can do. We can render Sfong lighting and cool reflections. Awesome. And then this is when we started to take elements of our previous logo, the globe and the swoosh, and combine it into this. The philosophy here is that since this is supposed to be a type of metaverse, represent something kind of like the Internet Explorer logo with the arrow. We were going around the globe. But the irony here is that this big eyeball is all around the globe and watching you if you're on this metaverse in this world that they've created. And now we have our final design. We ditched the gradient. We made the arrow fully 3D. And this is what we have today. And I think that our team did a really good job in helping to pick apart all of this in order to get to this result. It's clean, it's sweet, and it's the basis for our whole identity for this project. The font is Baskerville, which, fun fact, I didn't know this. Baskerville is really old, like super old, like 1700s old. Continuing forward, I have a little bit more from Gareth. Our slides were a little bit out of order, but that's okay. A last comment from Gareth48 about the details of the map. Details are important. Getting a piece like this to look good involved a heavy knowledge of the graphical techniques of the time period. Whenever possible, the best tools to replicate that style are the tools artists back then used themselves. That's why the skybox, though it's seldom seen, was rendered in Bryce 3D for that added layer of accuracy. Another common phenomenon from this era was the limited nature of renderers at the time. Due to monitors in the era supporting limited color depth and resolution, many images from that era are grainy and dithered. However, this look, while striking and striking and evocative, does not hold up in VR, and a tendency to be unpleasant when put in front of your face. As a result, other techniques can be used to limit the player's vision and fidelity without needing to give them eye strain. For this map, given its mystery setting, fog was chosen to restrict the player's vision, making the map feel larger than it was and giving the player a sense of feeling boxed in. As you can see from the images included, it makes a big difference in how the map is perceived. In some future releases, the ability to turn off the fog might be an interesting way to sell a shift in the narrative. And that is everything that I have to present. So on behalf of me and Gareth, thank you, and I will give it back to Decoy.
Thank you, Kibah. I appreciate that. Also, I know Gareth isn't here, but thank you, Gareth. As you saw, Gareth did a lot of the heavy lifting when it came to the feel of the world, and he really nailed it. I'm really proud of what he did. Okay, the messaging system, if you haven't seen it, it's based on Dark Souls and Toontown and other inspirations I got. So I can actually pull it up here. Let me show you. So when you go online and you send a message, if you choose to go online, there is a big what do you call it, a little pulley system. You just pull that and you go online. I wanted it to be part of the 90s theme. So, back then they just had physical switches for every sort of setting. So there's a setting to go online. And once you do, you can see messages and you can also send messages to other players. Kind of like a messaging or BBS system back in the 90s. Something like that. But it was based off of Dark Souls and Toontown, things like that, where you send whatever you want to send. So generally, a normal system, you can type whatever you want, but that doesn't give too much of way to mystery, to the feeling of the 90s. So we made it where you have a list of words that you can choose from, and then with that, you can make a sentence to send to other players. And this is what the UI looks like if you pull it out.
Can you make that a lot bigger?
Need this a lot bigger? Okay. I can. But it might, I don't know if you can see it behind the thing. There might be some issues with the rendering.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll just put it over here.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we made it where generally these systems only have you a set of, not words, but generally sentences you can say. We just made it where you have words and then you can choose what to say from those words. So example, I could say, what do we have here? We've got snake, curse, occult, quietly. And then I can send that. If I click send message, it'll send that. And then it's up for someone else to interpret what I just said when they see that message. And I think that really added to the experience of how people see the messages. And since you send the message, you see down there too, it also sends the exact coordinates where you sent the message. So they see where you sent the message and what you typed and your name. So that's very similar to Dark Souls and Toontown, where you have to have basically a preset message. And with those being said, if you send a message, we saw it. We saw every single message you sent. Because we have the statistics to show that. We have 393 total messages sent. That's 2,595 words. Average was 42. And the most important thing was the top 5 words used. The biggest word with 244 was whole. The next one was yes with 153. Fox was 92. 98 and up is 82. What I thought was interesting was that the use that were most used in common with each other was the word but and whole. So we ran those numbers too for you, right? 49 butts, 50 holes, together 38 consecutive butt holes.
Oh boy.
But with this system being as amazing as it is, I think I'll let Lee explain how she made the API and how it all works on the back end and what we see.
No pun intended, right?
So intended.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Hello, everyone. I am responsible for the butthole message system, apparently. I'm here to rant about wonderful backend stuff. So, I made a website. It's in which is... Just don't worry about it. It's updated. We have a login system where we can log in. You can't log in. Do not log in. I promise there's nothing there unless you look in the HTML, but don't worry about that. We have some moderation tools. The first image is a table. So whenever you are looking at messages, it takes into account of what language you're in. And with that language, it sends a API request to the website. And then if there is a locale that matches yours, it will translate roughly to your language. And that's what the table is. We can download a CSV. You can type it out in Excel or something and re-import it. And that's how we get all of our different language words.
That's cool.
If you know anyone that's French, I'm sorry. And then you can see our giant table. That's every single message. We have every analytics you want. In the world, you accept the EULA. So yeah, hopefully you knew about that. But we can see everything. We get your message in your locale. So if you made the message in Japanese, it will show in the first column what that will look like. And then if the language isn't there, it will show up in English. Yeah, that's pretty simple for the back end. Now, for the Flux, this is going to get very fun, I promise. I'm going to pull it out.
Oh boy. Hold on. Hold on.
It might lag you. There is a lot. But I promise you, this is not that hard to understand.
Ooh.
So, over here, this is the URL, Lucreverse.com. The endpoint we're hitting, which is the locale words. And this will be the little Resonite user's locale. So this is set to English. And we can see over here that this is the URL that the Flux is going to send. But whenever we call getString, what? My thing. Hold on. Sorry, I'm prepared, I promise. Oh, so tiny. Look at that. So, it's going to send this URL to the Flux getString. And let's see over here what the API responds. So I'm going to call this. It doesn't work. What? What? Huh. Well, I promise this works. Find out for yourself when you join the world. This will return a list. It's kind of like the table, but it's only for your language. It will have every single word and butthole, apparently. But yeah, it's something that's simple. We just do this all over the place. Same thing for sending messages, receiving messages. That's pretty much same stuff. I'm out. Decoy, take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Haley, for that wonderful talk about the API. A few facts about the messaging system, since we're still here. We try to make it as efficient as possible because, as you can see, we have a lot of messages. We don't want you to go into the world and spawn 4,000 messages and hit our API 4,000 times, right? So we cut it up into rooms and spots. So generally, if you walk to a spot, let's say the east hallway, it will load only 5 messages from that area. So this way we can keep our API things down, and it also doesn't lag your session when you spawn tons of messages. Another thing that I don't think Haley mentioned, but was really invaluable that she made for us was that all the words, that word bank right there, that was all on the back end side. So it was really nice that we just click call on that back end side, right? We click call for the button, and we get the whole word list. So a few times we said this word, we need to add the word fox. So Haley could just go back there, add the word fox to that word bank, and then we didn't have to do anything in Resonite. We would just automatically pull that, which is really nice. Okay, so if you've been there to the Lucreverse, you might think it's a horror kind of place. It's not a horror kind of place. Maybe it seems that way. We didn't intentionally make it that way. Well, we didn't outwardly intentionally make it that way. The idea behind the entire world, as I said in the beginning, was basically me watching a bunch of playthroughs of Myst and going, and it was basically, when you watch horror movies on YouTube to go to sleep, that was that for me. I was watching Myst playthroughs and just like scaring myself to sleep, basically. And it came to the point where I was started like studying the areas, right? I was going to do that, and the person would go into the lighthouse and like, ooh, this is the spooky part. This is the one I like. And I found myself thinking like, why is that spooky though? Like Myst was never intended to be a spooky game. It's just, it's just a point and click adventure game. So that got me thinking like, would that be possible to make in Resonite? And then Medra announced that MMC is coming up. I was like, oh, well, I think I have an idea for MMC. And then I had to convince the entire team to be like, watch this video of Myst and tell me what you think about it. But a bunch of those videos were my inspiration. Myst, anything, CG stuff like that, and Gareth, who had all those materials already on hand, was a big help coming in and being like, oh, this is what we need to do, because I literally have the reference to how, so we're going to make it this way. And that was wonderful to have. I think the team in general really took my rough idea of what I wanted and made it a tangible thing, which was amazing. Everything that I wanted, became something that we all made. And I think that was probably the best part about this MMC. And I mean, the end result is wonderful. This is something that I'm sure we'll get a YouTube say down the road in like 10 years. And with the MMC project, we only had, as you know, we only work on the MMC project. So there's a lot of stuff that was scrapped. We had to cut, time constraints, etc. And I'm here to maybe say that the MMC project is just a piece of what we actually have planned. But yeah, that was our talk. That is the bouncer for the PlayStation 2. Don't mind that slide. But thank you for joining thank you for joining our speed. Thank you to my team for making this happen. I literally would not have done it without you. And thanks to the Metaverse Academy for having us.
All right. Everybody, please, a huge applause. What a great talk. This does conclude part 1 presentation. And just a reminder, you can watch and share this video once it's edited and uploaded on both the Metaverse Academia YouTube channel and the Educators of Resonite YouTube channel. Now, let's open the floor to questions. Anybody here in Resonite with us, just go ahead and raise an appendage, and I will call on you. If you're in the Twitch chat, we've got your questions over here as well. So if you have a question in Twitch, you can ask it, and somebody here will try to answer it. If you do have a question, please go into broadcast mode when you ask your question, so that the stream can hear you as well as everybody else. So, does anybody in here have a question? Yes, go ahead. I can't quite read your name, but you have bat wings.
Yes, I was actually wondering. So you said there are multiple languages. Like, what all the possible languages available here? Just wondering.
So the question: how many languages do we support?
Yes.
Currently, I believe there's English, Japanese, German, Finnish, France, and I don't know if there's any more, honestly. Yes, France, the language. I don't know if we have any more. However, the back end lets us add as many as we need. So if you're willing to volunteer your time to translate all our word banks, we can absolutely add that language.
Okay. Who else? Who else has a question? Earthmark, is that you waving your stick? Do you want to ask a question?
I have mine sticky.
Great. Go ahead and please go into broadcast.
There we go. Yeah, so I had a question about the API. So you had spawned out the panel. I think I'm raising my hand. I don't have hands right now. You spawned out the panel, made a message. If you had sent the message in this world, would it have shown up in Lucreverse, or does the system have an understanding of messages posted to other worlds?
Great question. If I click send message right now, where's the message go? We're not in Lucreverse right now. So this is still tied to the room ID system. So this means I'm not in a room in the Lucreverse right now. So this message will be on our backend, but it will not show anywhere in the Lucreverse. It'll just show like a null ID.
Okay.
Can I actually see that UI like up over here?
Go ahead and just go into broadcast so that we can hear your comment.
Do you have any plans to allow the system to be used in other worlds outside of Lucreverse?
That is an excellent question that I absolutely thought of before you said it.
That's what I was hinting at with that. Does it support it?
Would we allow the Lucreverse message worlds? I'm not at liberty to say, as that would take a lot of back-end work. However, it's not impossible. We have most of the things there. We just have to do a little bit of retrofitting to do other worlds. That would be possible. I'll say that would be possible. I will absolutely think about that. That's a good question. That's a good recommendation, actually. Thank you for that one.
Good question. Who else? Who else has got a question? I want to see tentacles, paws, tails. Well, I definitely have a question. I would like to know what was the hardest thing that you do in the world due to scope? Like, what was something that you all really, really wanted and then ultimately had to decide, this is just beyond what we can do for this? And what was that like to have to make that kind of a decision?
So the things that we were forced to scrap was a lot more mini games. We had 3 good prototypes of working mini games to put in the world. Though with the time constraints, we didn't really have the time to make them work within the world. So we just ended up with the one, which is Whack-A-Mole, which is still a good game.
That was
probably
fun,
one of the
right?
best games.
Yeah.
That big thing. We wanted to have a lot of mini games for players to play. We didn't want you to spend your entire time, searching for clues or staring at the corner. We wanted you to be engaging with the world doing something. So the idea was to have multiple mini games. Ended up with just having one, unfortunately.
Still a very fun game. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Missing.
So, assuming I have not interacted with this session at all, or this world, is this supposed to be experienced in multiplayer or single player?
Oh, good question.
Is it single player or multiplayer? You know what? That's something for you to decide. As you go in there, you can choose to go online and see the other players' messages anymore. Or you can just do a single player.
I guess we'll find out in a few minutes. Okay, any other questions? I do have one more question, so I'm going to ask it if I don't see anybody else raising anything. All right, I'm going to ask this other question. So again, for the team, the kind of the darkest, hardest moments. I know that there's a lot of stress during the MMC with the time leading up. So I'm imagining like those last 3 or 4 days were probably quite difficult, but I would love to know, and I think everybody here would love to hear. Tell us like a kind of a horror story where you thought like, oh my gosh, nothing is working, we're totally screwed. And then how you overcame that, because you obviously got to the finish line, you have this amazing world, but we all know that there has to be kind of really deep, dark valleys during the process. So it makes us feel better to know that like other people have these dark valleys too, right? So tell us about like a moment. So it was pretty rough, and then how you got over that and kept going forward.
That's a great question. So what was the biggest hurdle, or at least the biggest roadblock when we were making this thing? What the big hill that we had to overcome? So it's a bit personal. So during our development, I had this was planned way ahead of time. I had a trip, a week I had to go away on a trip. Right, this was planned way in advance, way before MMC was an entire thing, and I almost forgot about that. And I was like, "Oh yeah, I got to go to this trip." So I type up a message. I'm like, "Hey team, I'm going on a trip for a week. These are the things that we still need to do. These are the deliverables, etc." And then I went away on my trip, and I came back on my trip, and I look at the Discord window, and no message was sent, and I was like,
"No."
So I go,
You just left for a week.
What? I'm like, hey team, how's it going? What's everyone working on?
Oh no! Oh
so
no!
That's 100%.
Oh,
that is my fault. But yeah, I had to come
Could
back
happen to anybody.
and basically panic and like, oh, okay, we got like a week left. What's working?
Right.
What's not working? What can we cut?
I mean, I got to know from the rest of the team. What did you think when all of a sudden Decoy just like dropped off the planet for a week? Were you guys panicking? Were you like, does he? Oh man! Thank you.
Kill him.
Yeah,
Strangle his little neck.
totally. Well, and it sounds like it was
oven so that we can make some roast bird.
Oh my god. Oh, that is a very brutal story, Decoy, and a personal one. But we deeply appreciate you sharing that, because we've all had instances where we've made a mistake or turned the wrong way, and it just is comforting to hear that other people have been through that. And I think your team is a great group to be able to bring you back into the fold and say, listen, things happen, and you guys are obviously an amazing team. The energy between all of you is really great. We have a question from Twitch, and then we'll probably start to wrap things up. So this is going to be the last question unless somebody else wants to have one. This question is from Baplar, and they ask, without spoiling which, can you tell if there may still be secrets that, to your knowledge, no visitors of Lucreverse have found yet? Any secrets or Easter eggs?
Any secrets that no one has found yet? That's a great question.
That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good question.
There's nothing on the back end that tells us when a player uncovers a secret. The back end's only for the messaging. And I've only had one person go to I won't spoil the rooms. One of the rooms, go to one of the rooms and find something, and they immediately message me and they're like, Decoy, what the hell is this? Why did you do this? So I'm gonna say, if it elicited that kind of experience out of them, I want to say that one person found it. Maybe, I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, can you give us a clue for today's World Hop?
The clue is it. You know what? Yeah, it's in the VIP room. Good luck.
Okay, all right. Now we have something to look for. Okay, I can't tell if that's Sticks asking a question. I think it might be. Yes.
I don't have a question, but I do have
Broadcast, please.
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment. And I believe I am one of the people who did find that secret in the VIP room. Because I do remember it, I do recall it, and it was a thing where I discussed with you guys, and I don't know, because I saw this thing, and I don't know if it actually, was a thing, but it was definitely there. I won't say what it is, let people discover it, but I want to say that Lucreverse, like, when I first visited it with Molly, and she'll go on about how, Sticks, loved Lucreverse, like, he was going through there, like, and he didn't shut up about how much he loved this particular MMC entry. But you guys, you guys, like, recreated the sort of liminality mystery of my childhood with this world, and you guys absolutely nailed it. Like, the feel of it, and I've expressed this to you guys before, but I'm going to express it again so that watching, but you guys definitely absolutely nailed this feel that was really only captured by this particular art style in the 90s. And you guys did a phenomenal job, and I hope that you will add on to it. I really hope that you'll continue it and continue with this experience, because it really is a very particular, very specific sort of feeling that you get from this sort of art form. And aside from the art from that era, so your Mists or your interactive, your Bryce 3Ds, or your, all of these different pieces of media where they actually captured it, this is the first time I have entered something and felt that feeling again. And it brought me right back to where I was when I was exploring these very, primitive sort of 3D worlds that had, really bad color data and these really obscure sort of secrets that the creators would hide everywhere. And I know that you guys say, well, you want people to be interacting with the world through games and stuff like that, but honestly, the secrets are the best thing. Like, these sort of meat and potatoes of this sort of stuff, because that's what the creators would do all of the time with this sort of media, is they'd hide stuff in it, and that was easily the best parts. The sort of mystery of it and how potentially large these worlds could be, because when you first encountered them back in the 90s, you didn't know how far these things stretched or how big they were. There was no sort of spatialized awareness of exactly how far these worlds stretched, because to us in the 90s and the early aughts, like, it was so realistic to us at the time with even this level of graphic capability that you became so immersed in it. So I really hope that you guys continue with it. I hope that you expand on it, and more secrets, please. Like, keep pushing the weird secret shit that happens during the experience, because honestly, that's the best part. That's like the cherry on top. But thank you for creating this world.
Thank you for those kind words. We've got things planned. There's lots of things in there. I actually want to show you. Speaking of what you just said, the liminal space and all the bad things. So I saw a YouTube video with this waterfall in it. This is actually not from the 90s. This is a Blender scene. But I saw this image, and I had to pause the video because I was just like blown away by the feeling this waterfall gave me. I was like, I want this. I need this. Someone needs to model this for me right now.
Yeah, the unintentional horror was a huge sort of part of that art form, and it was like the number one thing that I loved about it. The unintentional horror. Yeah.
Because you see this, there's nothing inherently scary about it, and yet you look at it and you're like, there's something wrong here. I'm about to get jump scared by something.
Right, exactly.
Totally. Awesome.
Which was, which is why the first thing we made was our waterfall, which is 10 times better and it's got our logo on it.
Nice. Nice. That's very cool. All right. I think that is going to wrap up our Q&A session. So part 2 of our presentation is going to happen in just a few minutes. The team over here is going to spawn out a Lucreverse world, and anybody here is invited to go on a casual world hop. But before we do that, we have a tradition here at these Maker Talks where we ask everybody to get up on stage together and take a big picture. So please come on up to stage, and I believe Miss Molly said that she will take a picture. So come on up, let's get our picture, and then we will start the world hop.
Oh yeah, I forgot we still had that in here.
Fog is gonna distract you.
Hey Decoy, we still have the old UI we were gonna go with originally in there.
Instead of playing our biggest
Back over to the
people over there.
Yeah. Some of them went down to go check out the gallery.
So everyone keeps talking about the fog. Funny thing about the fog that we didn't realize until we released
Decoy,
it.
we go in to shout, please?
Oh, yeah.
Just in case. That'd be
So,
awesome.
about the fog that we didn't test because no one thought to test the fog is that it's tied to your user skill. So depending on if you're bigger or smaller, you can see more or less. So I think that rock over there probably cannot see like 2 feet in front of them.
Oh wow.
Whoa. I'm weirdly sized. I'm your averagely sized rock, I would say.
Oh, okay.
The intended experience.
Damn.
Large rock.
Actually,
size
he's
of a small
quite
rock.
big.
I'll have you know, the small rock is there's my grandfather. I am average sized rock.
What size?
Damn. They used to raid these babies for miles.
Okay.
Yeah, how about
My uncle was so large he was used as ammo for a trebuchet.
An 8 trigger it now. Now it's enabled, and now it's going to be a hand gesture with both grip buttons. You're gonna yep.
There you go.
Okay.
And
Oh,
then
you tall.
Fluffy.
Now I
if you
can be
wanna
big rock.
reset, go back into that UI. Go back to that panel that I showed you, and you can click reset scale.
Thank you.
Can we all good? All right.
Should we begin?
So here we have
Yes,
the
let's
Wondrous
begin.
Wonders waterfall.
The waterfall. Look at look at our waterfall.
Look at our waterfall. I fought tooth and nail to get that real-time reflection probe in the final version. It just makes it look
wait, so it's
better.
real time?
Yeah, no, I put a real-time reflection probe on the center one, and then I used a static reflection probe for the rest of it, so that it also would still have the reflections, but not the spinning orb in the center, because that would look kind of dumb if you saw the black spinning orbs down here.
Gosh. And you say fought tooth and nail because the team was like, it's going to be too laggy and we can't afford that. It has to be baked. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting good frames of this with all of this in here.
Reasonable. The wonderful component known as user value distance driver. It turns off when you're far enough away to where it doesn't.
Magic.
You don't Magic.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, behold the online switch. A lot of games back then had like physical switches like this, so I just copied it. It takes a little finagling to go all the way up, but it does. There you go. It's local, so you just got to switch that on, and then you'll start seeing messages. Or you can send more messages if you really want.
Oh no.
It might take a little. But it was also a really good way to bring up the fact that we were using a third-party API, because Resonite tells you it's like something's trying to access your computer right now. So that was a really good way to like basically tell you what you were doing when it popped up and said Lucreverse wants to access your computer.
How do you look at messages?
So you'll start seeing messages as you walk around. They'll start loading in once you basically walk to an area. So it won't be immediate. You'll start seeing them as you walk around. And there'll only be 5 per player, so a message you see might not be the same as a person others sees.
Kind of reminds me me the scum engine from the Maniac Mansion.
That's actually in my inspirations folder. Yes.
So how well does this site scale to the number of users? Like, is it currently going to be having an okay time?
The server is it's very optimized. I don't think I've ever ran into an issue.
It's optimized in my closet.
Ivory's message.
Okay, well that's another one to the butthole collection, I guess. Let's go over the right wing first. Not for any particular reason, but just because I'm here. So the first room is the game room, our singular mini game. Oh.
Dude, the finishers were like throwing me off so hard when I tried to check this by myself.
Oh, did you look at the messages and finish?
Yeah, I didn't finish, and it's like I saw the first message, and I was like, "Why the fuck is it in finish? What the hell is this?"
Oh no.
Okay, well this is Whack-A-Mole. It is playable in desktop. I even made it to prove it. You can use your lasers if you'd like. But you just click that little guy, you just start hitting moles. And it does put you on the scoreboard.
Why are you in the floor?
I don't know.
With the when I was watching people play this, if you hit start, it will restart it. I just didn't have time. It was very frustrating when I saw Freaks playing this in the VOD, and it was like 12 or 13 times that he restarted the game. So try not to click the start button.
Yeah, at this rate, you are not getting on the top score list.
Yeah.
I don't think most of these messages are safe for work.
No.
I mean, I'd say I'm technically lagging hard because my frames are down to 30, which is not good for
I'm gonna pretend like I know what you said.
Oh, we're all still like technically in the other world as well. So.
Oh,
the score's getting up there. Wow.
You should definitely say, like, know what Mutareka means. Okay.
We're gonna beat the high
Oh,
score.
yeah, look at that. That gave me about 10 frames back.
Complete the high score, but my
Oh wow, there was a lot of other people in there.
For some reason, you guys are on the stream audio.
He's hiding behind
What?
the walls, right?
You can beat the
I
score.
can hear you guys on the stream.
That's all I'll say.
Oh really?
I don't know if that's good or not. That's probably not good. I don't know.
All right, is the game
Oh,
over?
no.
Let's go to the secret room.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
room coming
I'm sorry, the in construction room. So there is a room that we didn't finish. It'll be done in 19. Yeah. If you walk past it, you can actually see what we have here, though.
Will we be done in 1996?
We have a very early LLM prototype. So you ask it a question and then click the button. Yes. So I can ask it like, what is it going to be Christmas tomorrow? It's usually right. Check this out. See? I knew it. It's Christmas tomorrow.
It's tomorrow the 4th of July. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. There you are. How you doing? Doing good, man. I was quite interested.
It's a double holiday.
Wait, creature.
Wait.
Damn. I'm surprised. What's the chance for it? It's 1 in 50?
It's like a 0.0. Is it 0.1 or 0.01%?
I got it on my
Well, you're the chosen one, Jason. No. All right. Let's go see the meeting room. Let's go have a meeting. The meeting room is my second favorite room. This is where you can hold meetings. We even have a projector. We even have a projector that you can, put your stuff on if you need to present something.
Oh wow, that's so cool. Can we do shadow puppets in front of it?
Yeah, you can. There's a light source on it. Yeah, it'll work. It'll work just like any other projector.
Ooh, my god. That's so funny. So we have our stocks.
Yeah, if anyone wants to buy stocks, now would be the time.
Yeah. Buy our stock, please, because that just happened. We can play like you just want to get Drake. No. No, it's shareholder value. We want shareholder value. We want more shareholders. Sure, for sure.
Oh, has anyone figured out the microwave code? Does anyone know the microwave code?
1, 2, 3, 4. I know the microwave code.
Well, I know you know it.
I found it on accident. I was like, man, that's funny if we added that.
I don't think no one knows the code. It's fine. Don't worry about it. There's no code. I lied. Let's go.
Red herring.
Frames. Alright. Time to go to the left wing.
One as well.
Hey, Decoy, we didn't ask you
That'd be
about the
funny as
music, I
well.
don't think. I don't think you guys mentioned too much about the music.
Oh, the music? Oh, okay. Yeah, there's only... Of course. There's only one music track. And I basically... I showed you the waterfall, which was from the Blender project.
Mm-hmm.
And that had some music to it. And I tried to recreate that. And I failed miserably. So instead, I put a bunch of weird noises, and then I reversed it, and then I slowed it down, and that's what you're hearing. This is my failed attempt at 90s music. It does fit. It's very fitting, I think.
Yeah, no, I like it a lot. Yeah.
Also, the logo and the music very much remind me of an old metaverse platform that I used to go on a lot. I still don't have a booper on this thing. Called Active Worlds.
Oh, yes, Active Worlds.
Logos near the end.
I remember seeing when I played it. Oh yes, there's still bugs in here, as you can see. There's some dev messages in here too.
Do you have an issue with me?
Alright, on to the museum. So the museum is where you'd have all your artwork, or maybe you have a sponsor that we can go off in the metaverse. We didn't have enough time to get any sponsors, so we just made some self portraits and we put them up. Just imagine that we have sponsors for the Lucreverse, and that's what's up there.
Okay, for sure. We have the voices are so loud.
Message.
Serene Serpent.
Also, Gareth is supposed to show up on here. So
over here for me.
Gareth is there? Oh, Gareth is there.
Yeah, I did a quick hot
I-
before you guys came in. And...
Oh, okay. Okay, in the original release, Gareth got accidentally indexed from one of the oldest programmer tricks in the book is forgetting that 0 exists. So they were at 0 and they never showed up, but now they do.
Nice.
I'm the exact opposite because the min-max random int node goes from that number to the number below it.
Yeah.
So we had it 0 to 5 because it's like, okay, yeah, it'll go from 0 to 5. No, it goes 0 to float 4.99999 and then it rounds down. So I had to. Yeah, weird thing with the random int
Yep.
number node.
Now this one goes to 6.
Coast at 6.
Hopefully, we get some sponsors in here one day.
One day.
Okay, the next room is the demo room. This is my favorite room because this was all based off of a old computer demo that I saw a long time ago, and I basically copied the demo scene for scene. I don't know if you've ever seen like a demo scene, like a video or file where it's just a bunch of shapes and stuff on the computer that you show off. This room basically came from one of the demo scenes that I had. I copied it almost one for one, and then added a little bit of liberties to it. This is my favorite room. I love the spheres. I love the Amiga ball. I love the computer, the lamp. I love that we used to have a reflection probe in here that broke. That was my favorite part.
I think it's just offset. What did happen to it? Why is it broke?
It got rebaked or something. It was weird. But as you can see, the Lucreverse can create mind-boggling effects.
I never remember when things happen.
Okay. On to the final room, which you can only access if you're shareholders, for VIPs only. So everyone else has to stay out. Are you a shareholder?
Will's trying to do a murder mystery.
Yeah. So this is where you'd hang out with all your rich buddies, eat your rich virtual food, and do your rich virtual.
So I see the reflection on the table is not what's in the room.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Why would it do that? Let's not worry about that. This is, you know, the room where all the cool people would hang out because they all have money. There's no food on the table. But this is a very nice room to have a quiet meal.
See something up here between the cracks.
You need to be enjoying the room. You shouldn't be looking at the corner. Stop it.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Oh wait, there's something over there too.
Look at what we crafted. Not the corner.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, that's the current iteration of the Lucreverse.
I wish I had my applause stick.
What's so cool? Now we can all hang out in here like it's the 90s.
So it is a multiplayer experience.
Yeah, it can be.
Oh, how'd you make that chair grabbable?
I didn't. It's already grabbable.
Oh,
it's the only one.
I grab it out of your hand.
Stop it. Talking is pretty interesting.
Go turn on the fucking online flyer and go look at the message. Like, oh god.
Is this the only one that has
I was trying to tell you that one.
Beat you with the chair, Molly.
The online slider. Beat you with the chair.
Set myself online.
Thanks, you guys. Decoy, that was such a great talk. All of you.
Yeah, with the
really,
slider.
really nice job on the world. Nice job on the talk.
They want I was trying to point you out.
Really fun.
You're standing right next to it, so I'm telling you to click on
Thanks for taking the time too. We know that it takes time to put these talks together, and so the community really appreciates that you did that. So
logo is like right behind. It's like the two
It was the first time, kind of my first time doing an education talk, but it was a learning experience.
it's good, and it's a good experience to have because you want to be able to talk about your work. And kind of professionalize that. So, yeah, really, I learned a lot today too. That was fun.
Oh, where you have to like hit accept? Yeah, I did that.
And Crown.
I'm gonna crush there.
Thanks for the tour. Thanks for the talk.
The obnoxious, the floating, the what?
That's what it's got.
Like this?
Yeah,
Right here?
moderating.
The like floating.
You guys hear Yahoo's going out of business?
They're still not out of business.
Yeah.
Dave?
Yeah, that's not what I
Dave the Turner, thanks for everything that you did today. I'm taking off, buddy. Thanks, though. Great job on the stream.
Okay.
Thank you, Dave. Wait, why am I
These
still?
letters.
Dinosaurus.
Dave
Oh,
was
Tom's
cool and
crashed out.
collected and did
So
super
sad. Can we get
well.
3
And
likes on
see
this
with
post?
everybody else. That was so much fun.
Under your table.
By the way, we saw
What is-
the yeah, probably do. I
Alright,
don't
so
have the
PlayStation 2 or GameCube? What are we thinking? Who's gonna win?
GameCube.
GameCube.
What?
Always GameCube.
You just wait until they invent the PlayStation 3.
to get a
You're fucked.
That's never gonna happen. Have you seen the
So,
PlayStation 2 graphics? Nothing's beating that.
Are y'all about wrapped up with the world hopping?
Yeah, I think we're pretty much done here.
All right, sounds good. I think Dave, wherever you are, feel free to
Wait, why
put
did
on
it come
the
in a video?
ending
Oh,
title
God,
screen
no.
for the Twitch stream. And thanks everyone for
Video
the
player.
Wait,
Nice.
video player, what the fuck?
I didn't mean to do that!
That's an old player.
the Neos player.
That's really fun.
Get outta here. Get out.